Hi, and welcome back to my series on scripting NPCs, droids, and quests using Lisp and Star Wars Combine. Today we're going to talk about if statements, conditionals, and the very basics to start setting up a quest. Now, to make quests and do other complex things with the scripts, you need to be able to have some parts of your code show some of the time, and other parts of your code only show in certain conditions. So that's what these functions are for. Before we start coding, I wanted to just introduce the function to you. So the if function has three inputs. The first is a Boolean, a true or false. The second is one atom or one expression. And the third is also one atom or one expression. So just as a quick example, if you put in true as the Boolean, then it will return saying true. And if you put in false as the Boolean, it will return say false. As a note, you're not limited to just raw true or false values. You can input a expression that will return a true or false value. So you can use any of the functions that have a question mark on it. You can also input a list of values or a function call, but you can't put more than one item into that function. So if's useful for a lot of cases, but what if you want it to do more than one thing if true? What if you want it to both say hello and describe how the droid is feeling? Or what if you want to consider several different cases? And that's what we would use conditional for. So this here is conditional. I like to think of it as the vending machine of choices. You can have as many inputs or choices as you want. Each one is started and closed with a bracket, and it has the first input of a Boolean, just like true or false. And then any code that's included after that and still inside those brackets is what will be ran if that value is true. So for example, I'm going to have my first choice ask if the quest variable is equal to 0. And my second choice will ask if the quest variable is equal to 5. And when I run the code, the compiler will come to the conditional and it will look at the first choice. In this case is quest equal to 0. And if it's true, it will return this green box. But let's pretend this is not true and that's actually 5. So then it will go to the second choice and it'll see if it's true, and it is. So we'll return that brown box. And then my compiler will leave conditional. It won't look at any of the other choices after that. And it'll open up that brown box and read through the code that you put in your conditional. Now that we understand the basics of how if functions and conditional functions work, I have a simple example script in the description of this video, which you can copy into your script. I have it copied here and I already saved it, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh. So as you know, like we said, if it's false, it'll choose the second option. So here it describes false. If it's true, it'll choose the first option. Here, true. And then in our conditional, each choice is separated by brackets. The first one does not use the say function because it's false. It goes down to the second one, it sees it's true. So it says these two lines. And then it completely skips the third one, even though it's true, and moves on to the end of the conditional. So after these parentheses. And we have the add action. And you can test this yourself. It has some more complicated function calls for the true false, just to give some more examples. Now that we know how if functions and conditional functions work, I've made some updates to the Geraldar script that we've been working on. What was previously the start function, I named it start-1. And I made a new start function to hold our conditional to start a quest. So here is a variable named quest progress. I gave it the default value of 0. That just means that's the first value it starts with. And then here I declared a conditional. And then the first option checks if the quest hasn't been started yet. And if it hasn't been started, it goes to start -1, which was our previous start. And then eventually I'll add an variable updating area here, but for now, we'll just have to update it manually. If you've already talked to Geraldar, the quest progress variable would be 5. So all you would need is a reminder and directions. So that's what this part is. It's just a reminder. And then you close the conditional with parentheses. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So when quest progress equals 0, it behaves as normal. Now we're going to manually change quest progress to 5. And instead of the normal dialog, it has the new directions. In the next video, we'll discuss how to change a variable. And not only that, but we'll discuss variables that can keep their value changed between different conversations. And we'll continue to work towards this quest. Thank you for watching and subscribe to see the next video.